Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. Happy Saturday to all of you out there. Hope you're having a fantastic Saturday. I know some of you are at the Xfinity. I still call it the Busch Race this Saturday. We got a few NASCAR fans out there, so shout out to those guys that are enjoying themselves. Our boy Cowboy Ty is there currently. We've got basketball tip-off in about 30 minutes here that we're going to kind of do a little pregame before that. Alabama, the number 2 team in the country, goes down to Auburn. What's that mean for the Florida Gators? Well, they're favored by 14 today. Could they be sliding up one more spot as we move on from today? Gators miss out on 2026 DB Seatbelt Waters. We've had him on our show. Well, Cody has, and we're going to talk about that, what that means for the Florida Gators, what that means moving forward, and potential DB coaches as well. And Will Harris tweeted out in the middle of our show last night. Coincidence, timing, I don't know. I don't make the rules. We support the news around here. So we're going to read his tweet because a lot of people had thoughts and opinions about it on what it meant. And it was very interesting given the fact of our conversation that we had with Stephen Harris about what we were discussing. And then this tweet comes out simultaneously during that seemed to back what we were saying, what we were discussing a little bit. So look, I think to me, I like it because it felt like there was some clarity. Now, people may be upset about the move still and that's fine, but I didn't like the noise that was surrounding it, and I'm glad it feels like we may have made some progress with the show yesterday. So all good things there. Let's go ahead and bring in our co-host for the evening on this beautiful Saturday, which is our man Cody, the professor. Still working on one screen here. Good news on that. We've got a solution. I went to the store. And they go, look, man, this computer is primo. I go, I know, it's my baby. And he said, we need to take care of it. You don't need to go get a new one. Let's take care of this thing. And we ordered the screen be here in a week. And thankfully, I can work off my second monitor that I use. But we're cooking. But anyways, Cody, the professor, good to see you, big guy. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. Just been shooting some stuff for the recruiting channel and some of the other channels. But cold Busch Light and hit off the inhaler. We're locked in, ready to go.
Yeah, dude, we're getting old, man. I'm telling you. Cody and I gotta call him. I was having a heartburn, right? Yeah. My acid reflux was flipping out, and I was like, Cody's old. He'll know what to do. And he's like, drink some milk, man. I call this guy like 11:30 at night. I start chugging down some milk, and it saved my life. I was going to the hospital. I could not breathe. It was I'm getting old, man. It is unbelievable what's happening to us. But Cody, thankfully, he's a couple years older than me, so he's able to be prepared.
For sure, yeah. You had the knee, and then obviously the heartburn issue going on. Falling apart. Hit knee. 30 and you fall apart, bud.
As Keith says, "Why Cody White is glue?" You can't. This is a good point. We do need to get Elmer's Glue sponsorship. We would crush
that, and obviously Copperfit.
That and Blue Chew. Cody's big on Blue Chew. He would love some Blue Chew right now. If to be fair, we got the nod. Listen, I got to be honest. Blue Chew gave us the call. They were like, "Hey, we would love to represent the show." And I go, "I would love to say chew it and do it. Get paid to say it." But we want to, I kind of learned that our clients help me. I wanted me to listen about Blue Chew it and do it. Rookie Lentz, this man has hit the scene. I mean, this guy, an incredible supporter of the show. 99? Cody used to be a good supporter, not no more. Rookie, you don't have to do this, man. You are my man. You know what's funny? Rookie, I follow him on Twitter. He's got some pretty good one-liners, and I like watching it because he's obviously, I think he's new to Twitter. I don't think I'm wrong in saying that. And I was like, eventually this guy's going to catch some steam because he'll be saying some stuff like these are good. I get a chuckle out of it. He just doesn't have the following yet, but keep at it, man. I think you got some good stuff. But I appreciate the $100, man, at PC. For the PC. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Dude, you don't have to do that, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Rookie. Rookie's the man. Good stuff, man. Timothy says, as you get older, keep Pepto-Bismol complete around. Look, I have it, dude. It's ridiculous. I mean, this is the fact that we're talking about this is really bad. But I had a pretty bad acid where my esophagus was getting eat up. I had to go to the doctors and get an actual pill to help rebuild it because it was so bad. That's how old I'm getting. But yeah, I love it. Rookie wants to see some boobies. I love it. Look, man, let's shout out again, Rookie, man. I appreciate you. You didn't do all that, man. Thank you for the love. Let's talk about a couple things. First being Jalen Seatbelt Waters, 2026 DB. This is a young man that has really started climbing the rankings in college football. You've had him on their show last year on the High Top Sports Recruiting Show. Phenomenal young man. Great kid. You spoke with him, watched the interview. Just great head on his shoulders. But since then, there's been some drama, not necessarily with him, with more the parental thing, which we see this from time to time. We've seen it with Jaden Rashada. We've seen it with whose mom?
Simmons.
I think who?
Simmons.
That's right, Austin Simmons. Look, it's kind of just par for the course. It's not surprising, but his dad's kind of went on a couple of tangents to even where Jalen had to tweet out saying, "Hey, my dad's no longer representing me. I got my own thing." And for Jalen, and look, Jalen's a great kid. We get frustrated. Look, it's on the field, it's personal, but I know his mom's got some personal things, so he's trying to do what's best for her. He takes care of her. I mean, the kid's got a lot on his plate and trying to do things right. And obviously, he decommits today and gets crystal ball to Miami. Will Harris a big factor into that. And again, this and Dylan Olive, when we talked about his article, there was going to be some loss on this. I'm not going to freak out about it. Like the kid, I think he's a phenomenal football player, but to one Jalen Hurts, there's three more out there to go after. And look, as soon as Coach Vinny came and hit the boards, there was a ton of DBs and safeties that were excited that weren't even looking at Florida before that. So that's just the name of the game. Good for him. I think another one definitely to keep an eye on is Onus. But you have to, how I would play this is that, look, I think Will Harris was gone well before yesterday or 2 days ago. And Onus committed on the 4th. And Will Harris was still actively recruiting him to Florida. You got to wonder, I was like, hey, man, why, if you knew you didn't really see yourself staying, why did you stay? But let's talk about Jalen Seatbelt Waters here. And then we're going to talk about the tweet from Will Harris yesterday in just a moment.
Yeah, so phenomenal young man. I've actually talked to him more than just the interview. We've chit-chatted back and forth, and I really like the kid. Life doesn't always deal you loaded aces, right? So he's been through some trials and tribulations. Fought back from an injury last year. He's going to be a 5-star safety. He is probably the best man-to-man island safety that you can go out and get in the 26 class. And he's going to be a good one. Deep ties with Will Harris. It's Will Harris's body type. Long, thick, long arms, over 6 foot. That's a prototypical Will Harris DB. And he fits the mold. If Will Harris had a machine that could copy Seatbelt Waters, he'd be pumping them out just like the way he's built. Really like the kid. If he goes to Miami, that's his prerogative. And I've always talked to him about that. You go make the choice for you. Don't make it for anybody else. If you think that's the best fit for you, then Miami it is.
Yeah, look, hey, you want to log out and come back in. You're a little delayed. Try hopping on and come back in. Look, he was committed to FSU, then to Florida, and now it looks like he's going to be landing himself at Miami. Muddy Water says he was going to decommit even if Harris didn't leave. Look, there was a lot of flirtatious happening with Miami prior to this. I think Seatbelt took an opportunity to capitalize on the news that was happening, and rightfully so. Look, this is kind of part of the game too. So, but yeah, this was kind of already in the works. This just was more of icing on the cake, if you will. There's Dave that misses a beat tweeted out a photo of old Billy at the baseball game. Drink a little a blue moon, I think is what the Twitter world decided to work with. How we looking? We feeling better now?
Yeah.
Okay, much better. Looking good. So, good. Look, tough L there. Not too many commits to 2026. What I do like having that 2026 is the fact that we do have Will Griffin, who seems to be locked and loaded, and still a ton of buzz. Jalen Seatbelt, great addition, or was a great addition to that 2026 class. But I got to tell you, we talked about with Corey Bender. We see who's lined up for these official visits coming March, April, May, and into June. And there's a lot of talent that I'm excited to see. I know I've been down this road before. Look, all of what I say is recorded. I don't hide behind the wall here. I felt that there was a lot of buzz going into last year. The issue last year, however, was a lot of the top guys just wanted to see some things. And look, it ended up circling back and paying off in the long run. So I wasn't wrong in the talent that was there because it did pay off. It did work out in the end. The difference this time, I would say, is that there isn't a wait and see. I think people are excited what they saw. You could always lose it, but I think there isn't that holdback as there was last year because of how it closed. So I think Florida, hopefully, I'm believing, will be able to head into the season at a much better place than they were this year. And look, if they can hit the ground running, I mean, they could really take off because of what they were able to do. Let's go ahead.
And then don't forget this also. It's not bad to be the bridesmaid. We've had plenty of players come back via transfer portal after a year or two. You know, Pump Howard being one of them, Zimandela being another. You know, just because they end up
Quarterback from Alabama, I can't think of either.
Grimsley,
Jameer Grimsley, DeAndre Robinson,
Kamari McLean.
Yeah. So I saw Animal put a comment, said, do we think we'll lose Kamani McLean? The obsession with Kamani is incredible. But no, I don't believe so at all because Kamani was a Corey Raymond target, right? Yeah. And I think it was more of a Florida Gator target than a Will Harris target. And like we've talked about before, Will Harris, that Kamani doesn't fit the Will Harris mold, right?
No,
this was more of a, I know Ahmad Black was his coach. I think there was a true connection with Florida. He liked Florida originally, but maybe got distracted with a few things. Florida and Coach Napier gave him the opportunity to come back and do these things, and Will Harris just happened to be the DP coach. I think the relationship runs much deeper than with Will Harris. And look, I think Will Harris did a great job, but you know, we got to move past it eventually. But I do want to read what he said yesterday. And again, this was tweeted during our show. Was it just like he had it queued up? I don't know. It was very convenient that it happened during the show, given the fact of what we were talking about. But here's what he said. First and foremost, I would like to thank Billy Napier and Scott Strickland for giving me the opportunity to coach at the University of Florida. Billy, as they say, the ones who bleed together are brothers. We went through the trenches last year and pulled out of one hell of a finish. With that being said, I understand business is business, and you have to do what you believe is best for the University of Florida's football program. I appreciate you. This is the line that has everybody kind of up in arms of, well, okay, this feels much different because originally everyone thought that Will left because of whatever reason, insert rumor here. This people are reading as if Florida made the call of like, okay, this isn't working. Kind of what we said. Hey, this is the way that things are going to go. We heard about a negotiation, just a negotiation of a contract extension. People may have assumed that was more money or things like that, but maybe it was a renegotiation of his contract that didn't fit his need, right? Mr. Strickland, I appreciate you always providing an open door policy and your transparency and willingness to listen. I'll definitely miss our good convos. Gator Nation, love this. Love or hate me, I understand either way. It was one cool-ass season. Again, business is business with his little check piece. To my guys, love is an understatement. Nothing can break our bond when you stack bricks, blah, 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 blah. My favorite comment, though, is from Blue Orange Gator. Says, this isn't an airport. No need to announce your departure. It's incredible. But look, I respect it. Again, a little bit of insight, maybe, possibly. Take it with what you will. But this didn't give me bad blood vibes, right? This didn't feel what Harris said. This aligns with that, how I read it. Now, everyone could read these things differently and perceive it differently, but that's how I perceived it. Your thoughts?
Well, I think there may have been a ultimatum with Will Harris and Ron Roberts. And you know, here's the thing about ultimatums, right? Just like in your personal life, if you say, hey, you do that again and we're done, or you know, obviously if you can't work with this person, it's not working out. It's an ultimatum. That's what has to happen. And Billy Napier is not going to revamp. It's much easier to go get a DB coach than it is a DC. I can tell you that.
Sure. No question there. Look, let's talk about this article came out yesterday from our guy, Zach Alberti. These guys are working hard and heavy there at On3, and always want to make sure we give them credit for their efforts and make sure you guys get an opportunity. I like to kind of give it a couple days before you read it because these guys bust their tails off to put out some feelers. I don't know if these are they have this as a potential candidates. I think they have. I don't believe they have interviews set up. I think it's just what they think is who could be eyed at. And again, let's keep it 100 here. We've seen these lists before, and the name that lands was never on the list. And it's not a shot towards anybody. It's just you never know. Like that's just how this thing works. Yeah. I remember when Billy Gonzalez got the call. It was everyone but Billy on the call. Mr. Nobody. I love this guy. He's always so positive. Nah, man, that sounds very PR-ish. That dude went to the ops. Come on, Sheldon. I don't know what you're implying. You're saying that
It
he
was
did
weird. No, he's saying that
bad
that
blood.
whole
I
thing.
think no. Okay, hold on. I think there's probably be bad blood on a disagreement level. Yes, but I'm referring to the rumor that was ravaging around. I that didn't feel it was that intrusive. Do I believe that there was a disgruntled disagreement? Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
I don't think they got along, and I don't think that they were working well together. And we heard that from Stephen Harris last night, that he is hard to work with, and that's just, look, I'm not condoning, but that's just kind of how it is sometimes. I mean, I work with, man. Some would say I'm probably hard to work with at work. Like, that's just
Not all.
look.
Well,
Sometimes you got
hey.
I snap on code sometimes, but it's for the betterment of the good. And so
Yep.
and look, here's what's funny. I know some of my reps that I coach. I try to, when we're in an even keel place, when we're having like a nice mellow convo, because I've learned that, hey, I want you to know before we get into the trenches here, because when you're in the middle of battle and you start hooting and hollering, and you're like Cody's done some dumb stuff, and I'm like, yo, what are we doing? You get a little maybe over zesty at times, right? But I try to make sure that I communicate now that, hey, I want you to know that my ultimate goal is for you to be successful and that I love you. So we know that, nothing I say up here, don't look, I may be upset, maybe frustrated, but don't take it to a level of this, because the ultimate thing is I want you to be successful, I want you to do well. Sometimes my efforts are not there, and not everybody has those conversations. So, but I think that, again, some of us make us tick. We rock and roll a certain way. Bill Belichick wasn't really liked or favored or loved, and won a couple Super Bowls. So it's not always about being liked.
Nick Saban was not liked by his staff. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of just now loosened up because old Patty McAfee is rocking and rolling with him here. So a couple of names that's been tossed around. Corey Bell was a name we mentioned last night, coached at UF in 2017, working with C.J. Gardner and C.J. Henderson and Duke Dawson. He's a Mississippi State cornerback coach. Love the familiarity, but I'm pretty sure we torched those quarterbacks last year. Another name, this would be not. I kind of like this one, is Darren Wilson, Georgia State defensive coordinator. He just got the job. He was the Arkansas's DB coach or secondary coach. So this would kind of be this is, in my opinion, similar to that Coach Vinny, right? They're moving up, and we're taking them to come back at a more of a Power 4 level. So.
Yeah, he had McLaughlin. That was an elite DB during the Arkansas. When he was at Arkansas, very very good, and then he had a good safety that got picked up by the NFL too.
Yeah, and again, shout out to Zach. He has these stats in here. He says, look, their pass defense ranked 4th in the SEC and 32 in FBS, and they also ranked number 3 in SEC with 12 interceptions. So good stuff there. So look, again, these are all just potential names that there's a few more on these lists, but we kind of already talked about them. So we'll see how it all plays out. Again, well, the one thing that I do want to see happen is that Billy, I would say, needs to replace this role, especially because of what we talked with Harris about yesterday in regards to that Ron Roberts, his expectation is to have a safety coach and a cornerback coach. And look, I said this as well. Like, people were kind of in, like, when Vinny stepped in, like, this is going to make Harris upset. I don't think that was what caused it. I think it was just that probably amplified to what was already happening. But I liked it because I felt like we had too many people with too many jobs. I mean, most teams have a safety coach, cornerback coach, and all of these things, and it's not just multiple roles. Again, I've talked with this. Arson Armstrong took a safeties room when he first came in. So there's never been a nice, everyone has their own group. So I like it.
I think that the thing is that people get this very confused that that playing cornerback and safety are pretty close. It's not at all. It's really really different. As a safety, you're almost like a you're playing center field unless you have a two safety look. You're playing like a linebacker that can also guard the pass. You're supposed to be down in the box, supporting the run, stuff like that. DBs really don't, the cornerbacks really don't have to work on that stuff. Yeah, they have to help in run support a little bit, but not like what safeties are. So it's a totally different room. It's totally different styles of play, And so I like them split up. I don't like all my. I get where you want your DBs talking to your safeties, but you can do that effectively. A lot of teams do have a safety coach and a DB coach, and I think it's fine. Also, don't forget another former Gator coach, Torrance Gray, over there at South Carolina. They've had very good defenses the last couple of years. I know Billy Napier and him had a brief interview. I think Billy ended up going and getting the former LSU coach over him and not retaining him. He was part of the Mullen staff, but a very good DB coach over there at South Carolina also.
Money makes a good point. I want to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about basketball here in just a moment. But before I do that, of course, the show is brought to you by BetUS. And again, we give a huge shout out BetUS. I mean, they're covering the tire between Rookie and BetUS. We're going to cover our tire expenses and our computer expenses this week. It's been a fun one. But look, shout out to BetUS for again sponsoring us all season long through the entire football season. Absolutely blessed to have them as a partner. I feel like I'm on NASCAR, you know what I mean? Hey, shout out to the BetUS Ford, just getting us around the corners today, okay? Just high horsepower coming in off turn 4 and onto that straightaway feels really good. Just that Ford BetUS car just really got us to the end here this entire season, so we want to thank them. And of course, when you go to betus.com, use that code YouTube150, get back 150% on your first deposit, then 125 on your next two. And we just want to make sure up $2,000, y'all just go check them out, okay, all season long. And we're real happy to have them part of the team. And we'll be sure we get back out there next week and see how we can finish. I appreciate y'all. I love
NASCAR-esque.
Yeah,
that's
there we go.
That's every NASCAR winner, championship lane or crash interview that you've ever heard in your life.
Yeah, not as much anymore. They're all a bunch of soft little pretty boys. But back in the day, for sure. You know what I should do is get like a shirt and get like just like the row. like it's like
our sponsorship row.
Just like
Rocket Mortgage, BetUS,
all of them. Just
Prize Pick.
Could have them all in 1 week. That would have been golden. That'd have been. I gotta get better at that. But we had people knock on the door like, "Hey, can we just have you read our shit? Our ads?"
This is a Tacova leather jacket, handmade.
Like the old like NASCAR jackets, and it's just like all the brands. Like the high top, like that would be kind of lit, man. That would be kind of lit. Hey, I'll go to our guy like, hey, I'm gonna make that massive leather jacket, get us all these sponsors, and we're gonna just load it up, and I'll wear it all season long. That might be a hell of a flex. Money makes a cool point here. No, that's not what I want to read. What does he say here?
Money always making great points.
God, this guy carried the show early on in its early seasons by just putting comments, and we would make videos out of his comments. Way better than that Ryan Bork guy, huh?
Not that I even always agree with him. Just killer on the comments.
Yeah, look, I mean, Muddy's usually wrong, but at least he brings up a good point for us to conversate about, and that's what we can always appreciate. Boys, you got 190 strong in here. Be sure to smash the like button. I know the game starts in just a few. We'll wrap this thing up so you guys can head into that basketball game and enjoy yourself. But Miami could land or steal half of Florida's targets or commits, but when they hit the field and Miami commits, see Lagway ball and realize he'll be back another year, then they'll be back. My head went, look, great comment, but what I was thinking of is that Miami and Florida have a really, it feels like we're getting back to the nostalgia days on how well the recruiting, the hype behind both teams, they both have a really cool opportunity going into this year to have some major success, and you just can see a true gauntlet battle of recruiting for this 2026 season and see this back and forth, right? Like a seatbelt waters, and because of the Will Harris and the coaching swap, like FSU has removed themselves from that conversation. And look, I would love to take a shot here, and I will, 2-10, but more so just because of their approach to the game, right? They're focusing more on the portal than the recruiting aspect of things, and they haven't really. I mean, the recruits have all left a year later. And look, to each his own, but they're not in that same realm right now. Could they get into that? For sure, and they were, I would say, 2 years ago. Kind of missed the buck last year, kind of got picked apart at the end there. But Miami has been competitive since Mario has been there. Florida has been competitive in the sense with Miami, and so we're seeing these recruiting battles go back and forth, and the fact that we get to play each other on the field as well, it's a perfect timing to be playing them, given the fact that we've got our legacy guy in DJ Lagway. They have they're back. I mean, they should have been in the AC championship last year. They shot themselves in the foot. So I'm just excited for college football. I've always said that college football is better when the big three are good. So as long as UCF can get their act together, we'll be right there.
Yeah.
What do you?
I think hey, if I'm the Florida Gators, I want Miami every single year. Every year, schedule them up. I think it's something we need to look into, because this once and twice every 5 year BS, like, you win that game and you dominate, we're going up against head to head recruits. We go down to Miami, we steal a couple. They come into Gator country, they steal a couple. It's a fun rivalry. It's good for the sport. Everybody watches it. It's got to be one of the most televised TV games of the year. Miami, Florida. Scheduled up every year. I'm down with it.
I don't mind the back and having every other, like, it's every 4. That might be too far. Maybe every 2 they can have it. I think stacking 2 teams like that from the ACC. I mean, they would never, right, have 2 teams from the SEC come in and do their thing. So that's the part that I don't, especially with the SEC getting stronger and possibly going to 9 conferences. Look, I mean, you got to be smart about it. I mean, Saban always navigated through his schedule very well. When you're seeing all these teams kind of scoot in, and it's like, I mean, think about an Indiana team, right? I mean, I think they're a good football team, but that's the part where I don't like, because yes, it's fun for us fans, and I would love the egotistical part of it and talking smack, and they go, oh, you're afraid. It's like, no, but I'm not going to sit here and say, like, hey, Miami's not a good football team. That's a challenge to kick off the season with, or even have in your schedule when everyone else is taking that game and throwing it to a cupcake on top of the 3 they already have. So I like it, though. I agree. Look, I love it. I even last year I said it. Our schedule's a gauntlet. I didn't care. I wanted it. It's fun for this, but it was exhausting at the same time. Like, could we just get a week? Just give me, like, honestly, Sanford was a phenomenal week. It was so fun.
Yeah.
It was so fun. It was beautiful. I just, I need those. All right, let's talk some basketball here. We got Kentucky at Texas. They're up 13-10 right now in the first half at the moment. Duke take down Stanford 106. They're tied with us at number 3. But most importantly, Auburn, number 1 team in the country, takes down Alabama on the road 94-85. Big W for Auburn, especially coming off the tough loss to us. And I was talking to a buddy before the show started, and he goes, look, man, Florida's starting to look really pretty solid. It could arguably be one of the the best team in the country. We've got to play Alabama, and we'll see. But here's what I kind of went to. I said this last year. I said the reason why UConn did what they did was because the league is where it is now, that it's spread out, which is good. But UConn was able to maintain their core from the year prior and just dominated, just played great, sound basketball, and you couldn't touch them. And I was really excited for this year of basketball because I felt like you're going to have more variables involved with college basketball, with the NIL. And I would argue that Florida, in a sense, is very Connecticut-like. Brought back the core. They've done a great job of maintaining their guys and then adding key pieces that they needed. So that is where I'm excited for Florida, because they've been through a lot of adversity. They've come through a few things and they've lost in the tournament already, and have truly been battle tested this year with their schedule. So I feel really good about this Florida team and where they sit. Again, it's basketball. You never know. You got Izzo, obviously, Michigan State. They're doing great things right now, ranked at number 11. But we've got South Carolina favored by 13, I think, or 14 points tonight. I would love a dominant game. Would love a dominant game with Micah. He's back, which is awesome. You're getting another big guy back. Huh?
Can't wait to see him.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be awesome to be able to throw him back into the mix. I mean, think about we went operating half full in a sense, especially with Elijah Martin being out and Micah being out as well. They haven't really missed a beat. You haven't really noticed that. But Micah went down. Didn't he go down? Did he go down in the SC tournament, or he went down against Colorado, right? He went down did he go down in the tournament?
No, right before the tournament, I thought.
Right before
it was
the
in
tournament.
Colorado. It
was
Colorado.
Right. So it was the SEC tournament then?
Yes.
But maybe it was a championship game, the SEC championship game against Auburn? Maybe.
Yes.
So big loss, and we kind of, your team is structured around him and his success, and that's a big blow to take right before a tournament and going into that atmosphere. That's a huge blow. And I think they've done a great job building around that too. They can handle those blows this year too. So love those teams. Again, I want to see a big dominant win. We got a super chat here from Anthony Pond. Says, why wouldn't Florida pay Will the amount they agreed to pay him and switch his responsibility, even as only cornerback? Does Florida got a flaky word? Okay, let me reread this.
I mean, it's a contract, right? So obviously he had the whole room at the beginning. Ron Roberts came in. He split it. They hired, the Italian stallion. There's no reason to pay him the amount for the whole room that he's only coaching 8 less players. It's just, financially, it's irresponsible to be doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Look, I like your question, but I've worked in business and being a manager. You see these kind of things, and so to your point, they paid Will, from my understanding. Again, this is from what we heard, that he was brought on to coach these two guys, was getting paid to coach 2 groups. Where the disgruntle came from was Ron was like, "Hey, you're coaching DBs and no more, and just the DBs and no longer the safety." So in a sense, he got paid all year last year for more work than he was inclined, and so they didn't go against their word because they paid him for more than what he was expected to do. So going into this year, it's like, you're not going to do that. We've got to rearrange it, but we'll extend it because we like you. So there was probably like, "Hey, we'll give you some more security. We'll up your pay as a DB, but you're not getting paid a DB and a safety." That's not flaky against me. This happens all the time. Things change, your roles change. And so it's like, look, like what you were brought in initially to do, that role has now changed. That's not uncommon. And I don't think it's flaky because I don't know if they could have, but they could have tried to push it back in the middle of the season if they wanted to.
Yeah, it'd be no different if I told Shelton, "Hey, I can only shoot 3 days a week," and I was shooting 5 days a week or 6 days a week, and Shelton saying, "Hey, like, I really like you. I get you're a piece here. I'm going to give you a longer extension with some more guaranteed money, but you're gonna have to take a pay cut, bud, because you're doing half the work." And in business, you have to understand that, and that's why it is just business.
With the amount of mistakes that he's made, though, he owes me.
Probably, yeah. I mean, truthfully, yeah. 100%.
I feel like I'm a pretty good boss with all the hiccups we run through, and we just kind of hit the ground running. I feel like that I've done.
Oh, for sure.
Cody's the man. Cody, I'm lucky to have Cody. Let's keep it a buck. I gave Cody a hard time, but I would say he's the glue. Come on, dude. You
glue. The glue.
You teed it up. I know.
I know.
That one was
speaking about teeing it up.
Shout out to Keith.
Speaking about teeing up. Shout out to the Florida Gator baseball program, hitting 28 runs. 28 runs this weekend against Air Force, and only allowing 5 points scored in the 3 games. I mean, just knocking the laces off the ball this weekend.
We could have some fun going into these next couple of months with basketball, softball, and baseball. And golf can always throw a little ring in there for you if you want to get excited about it. But, boys and girls, y'all be good. Enjoy the game. Great little show here on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Happy to have you guys. As always, you know what to do. Smash the like button, subscribe, do what you need to do. Shout out to BetUS. Shout out to Rookie for so much love with the super chat. As always, y'all be good. Enjoy your Saturday night. If anything breaks, you know where we'll be. We'll be here live, rocking and rolling. So have the bells turned on. Good to see you. We love you. Peace and love, baby.